Band member that's least likely to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Nico, he's got too many medical problems. He's got asthma, sciatica. He's allergic to bees. Was allergic to shellfish. We haven't really found out if that's fully confirmed free or not.
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting eaten first.
Bro walks weird. Like, I guess they brought up Sleep Token on a podcast and he just goes, boo. And apparently that got him I got him like a couple 100,000 views. And he was like, yeah, I guess that's all you got to do is say you don't like Sleep Token. And he's like, do that on every podcast.
Well, I'll say it too. I don't like Sleep Token. Today is a great day, everybody, because I get to have on my first nu metal influenced band. And if you know me, I love nu metal. I grew up with it, and it was my first love as far as heavy music goes. So I'm stoked to be hanging out with Wehrung, vocalist for Resider. They're a 4-piece metalcore band with nu metal roots based out of Southern California. Their new single, Death Adder, just dropped alongside a really killer music video. It's actually their 3rd single of the year, and they all have really killer music videos. So check them out on YouTube. But Death Adder is off their upcoming EP, Shade, releasing July 25th on Overshadow Records. I think this band has like a real chance to do something big with their sound. It's got like that familiar 2000s nu metal vibe, but with a twist. It's catchy, it's heavy, it's just awesome. So looking forward to seeing where the future takes them. Reminder before we get started, if you're enjoying the show and you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe and like buttons. If you're on Spotify or Apple, please hit me with a follow and leave a rating so I can keep reaching new listeners and helps me grow the show. So let's go. This is Riff Tacos episode 33 with Will Wehrung, vocalist for Resider. I've been listening to your songs, and Death Adder is totally sick. Like,
okay, thank you.
I love the nu metal influence. I said that in my intro I recorded earlier. Like, I grew up on nu metal. It was like my first love as far as like heavy music goes, and your sound is like familiar, but I love like the fresh like spin that you guys put on it, and especially the chorus of Death Adder. It kind of gives me like all these like Sempiternal vibes, which I love. I've always been a big fan of them. So what's the story with Death Adder?
I mean, I think, well, AJ and I, our guitarist AJ and I, we sat down. It was the last song we wrote for the EP, ironically, and we were gonna do another one as a single that was like a nu metal one, and we were like, let's just write one more and like see where we go with it. And we sat down, we did a writing session for 2 days, like back to back. We got nothing done the first day, literally nothing, which is always fun.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and then we started writing again the next day on Sunday, and we were like, yeah, like we're getting somewhere. Like we have this song, this idea or whatever, you know. And then I think we were listening to like just some older like 2010 nu metal stuff, and we were like, like this is kind of cool. This is cool. We started making like samples with it. We just started with the intro. We started with just like some weird effects noises, and then he like came up with the first riff, and I was like, I think we have a song here. And he's like, I think we might have a song. And then about 4 hours later, we had pretty much the entire song done, and I was like, shit. So I was like, damn, I didn't think that was gonna happen. And then we like went through it, and we started on vocals, and then I was like, you know what, maybe this is the 3rd single here. And they were like, the song that you guys just wrote, you want to put up front in front of everything else and push that out. And I'm like, honestly, yeah. I was like, I like it. It's cool. So we went with it.
So that's your 3rd single you put out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other 2 aren't going to be on the EP.
No, they're on the EP. Gasfight and Pissing are on the EP. Death Adder somehow was the last song written. It is the 3rd single, and it will be the first track on the EP.
Sick. Okay. Yeah, the music video is really killer, and I watched the videos for Pissing and Gasfight too, and I'm like, damn, like you guys have high production quality. Like they're all killer, dude.
Tanner would love to hear that. And Death Adder was a cursed music video. That he edited that video on, what was it, last Monday? So a week ago, he like started it and finished it by the day it came out. Yeah, it was everything that went wrong with the music video could, all the way down to we got a bee infestation during a shoot and had to cancel.
Oh shit. How'd that happen?
We had a location, and at Tanner's grandparents' backyard up in the mountains, in like the hills in like East County hills of San Diego, and we were going to shoot. And we showed up and we were like, cool, this is a good spot. And then we came back the other day and Tanner was like, hey guys, I've been here for about 2 hours setting up. I got stung by 2 different bees so far. And I was like, that's really cool because Nico is deathly allergic to bees. So I don't know how that's going to work. He's like, well, we'll see. And then we were like kind of messing around with the shoot. And before Nico and AJ got there, Tanner was like, I got stung again. We're 86ing this, or unless we want to kill Nico today. And I was like, let's 86 this. Let's move on. So we had wasted a whole day.
Yeah, I was allergic to bees when I was young. I got stung on the playground in like 1st or 2nd grade on my finger, and my whole entire arm swelled up, like just turned red.
Thankfully, I'm not allergic. I got stung at Six Flags on a roller coaster when I was like 16. It was my worst bee experience.
At least they weren't like murder hornets. Are those even a thing anymore? I remember hearing
I don't know.
about this.
I don't deal with nothing outside.
What does the title mean, Death Adder?
It's actually a snake in Australia. So the whole there's kind of like a bit of a reptile thing for me. It underlies, I have a lot of reptiles, so I kind of like use them as influence for stuff. And I probably, if I wanted to be a little more conscientious and eco-friendly about it, I wouldn't use them for scary titles in metal. But yeah, so the Death Adder is one of the venomous snakes of Australia, and basically it lies in wait, and it's like one of the only ambush snakes. Usually snakes hunt, but it's actually an ambush predator. And so the whole point of the song is kind of like looking at society and kind of being like, I feel like a lot of people just kind of like deal with life as it comes, and then they kind of just tell you to, suck it up and, deal with it. And like, oh, you're whining and complaining. Like, it's like, well, like I can't be upset about something. And so they just wait for the right moment to tell you like, shut up, pretty much.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I try to use references in cool ways, and I try to come up with names that I feel like aren't normally used. Like I don't want to name something like Dead Weight or something like that, even though I've done that in the past. But
it's hard to be original these days, especially like band names, titles for records. It feels like everything's been done. And I always talk about that with everyone on here. I think like finding a band name is probably the worst part of being in a band.
I think, yeah, dude, it's the worst. I think Ryan from Fit for a King, Ryan Kirby, I think he like made a tweet one time and he's like, the year is 2025 and all band names are just like Morse code. I was like, yeah, bro, like it's gonna devolve to just letters and numbers. I mean, 1056 is the thing, so
yeah. How did you guys come up with Resider?
AJ and I were on a FaceTime call a few years ago, and I think he really liked the word reside, and we knew we wanted to go with one word because we all just like that vibe. So he really liked reside, but it didn't have like the ring to it. And then we were like, oh, Resider's cool. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like it's kind of cool to have a name that has like some sort of like stance to it, like or like a noun, I guess. Not that it particularly means anything in specific, but it's kind of coined the term reside or die, which is kind of nice because it's like stand your ground sort of. But yeah. So we kind of roll with that, especially because a lot of the music is like targeted at things or people or social economic standpoints, I guess, or social political commentary, not to get like political, but a lot of it is targeted towards just like the perception of life and whatnot, and how that affects us on a daily and our emotions and whatnot.
Reside or Die was your first EP, right?
Yeah. And we were spitting out so many names. Like you said, it's so hard, dude. Like coming up with names is like the literal worst.
Do you remember any bad ones that you guys almost used, or what was the list?
For the EP or for the, oh man, I probably have a note in my phone somewhere of all the worst ones. Sometimes like I'll write down like the dumbest things ever. I have a list of like stupid song names in my phone, like just dumb ideas. Sometimes I get a good one, but most of them are just so dumb. But I have a list ongoing.
Yeah.
That sometimes they get pulled up, sometimes they don't. I don't know. Pissing is definitely a terrible name for a song. But
yeah, but it grabs attention though.
It does. It does, but I'm pretty sure it's shadow banned at this point. Like I'm pretty sure the algorithm is not a fan of seeing that.
Yeah, they're still pretty weak with what they decide to ban and stuff, like just like mild swearing or things like, I understand anything pornographic or whatever, or like violence, but just simple shit like that's not ideal.
It's weird because like stuff like that will get shadow banned, and then you'll see like literal hate speech with like
Mhm.
millions of views, and you're like, bro, how did that get that far?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
More
understand the
engaged.
algorithm at all anymore.
Yeah, I don't try to. I know TikTok had a thing where like my coworker was telling me, she's like, dude, there's literally like shootings in Mexico. Like the videos are on TikTok and they're not taken down. I'm like, how is that allowed? But like, I can't put out a song named like shit fuck.
Yeah.
Like somebody says this is a fucking awesome song on my TikTok, and the comment goes to review, and like, I can't. Like that's not okay. But yet somebody can get shot at and die on camera, and
Yeah.
it'll stay on for days.
Yeah, murder is fine. And like Twitter or X has straight up porn on it. Like
I don't even go on the app anymore. Twitter is cursed app. Yeah.
what was I gonna say? Oh, the artwork for Resider Diet, that like, what is that thing called? It's like from those old school cameras.
Oh yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a viewfinder or something.
Yeah, it's a viewfinder. So back when we were kind of just experimenting, we were just like, oh dude, it'd be funny to do like a 90s nostalgia, like 2000s thing. And we all had viewfinders as kids. So it's like it'd be funny if it's just a bunch of promos from that cycle, I guess. So if you zoom in and you look at them all, they're all just like promos and funny photos. There's probably photos of like our friends in it that they probably don't even know about.
That's great. Yeah, I had like instant memory unlocked when I saw that thing of like putting one in as a kid and hitting the button and stuff. I thought that was really cool,
Yeah.
especially for like the throwback vibe. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
That EP is definitely more like, it was definitely us trying to find what we were doing, and then Blacklight was kind of like the solidification of the new metal vibe, and then diving deeper into it on this cycle around, more and more new metal is what keeps happening.
What did you guys like? What was your plan with Shade did you have like an overall vision for it as a band, with like where we want to take the sound?
So Gas Pissing is probably the first song that was done, and we toured on it and played it, but it had always been like a heavier song, and like I'd played with the vocals and kind of knew it was gonna have some, I don't want to call it rapping, but sort of, drier vocals mixed in with all the heavy, and kind of had a new metal vibe. And then we did Gas Fight, and we were like, okay, this is for sure weird. And like everyone kept saying Power Man, and I was like, I've never listened to that band, but I know who that is.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I was like, all right. So then as the songs kept getting like progressively darker, we were like, shade's kind of a cool term, and we were like, I think we knew that it was going to be dark, and we knew that new metal was for sure where we were going with it. So we kind of were like, this needs to be a little bit more put together than what Resider Die was. Resider Die was just a collection of songs that made an EP that we liked at the time.
So this had more of a focus.
Yeah, more of a sonically, I should say, at least. Like definitely more focused in that sense, I guess. Yeah, like we knew that it was going to be darker, and we knew that we wanted to be heavier and a little more serious. And this is when we started experimenting with like double dropping guitars and adding in like quad track layers. And because like the new metal, the vocals have kind of been the same throughout the thing, that's been singing, there's been screaming, there's been scream singing, there's been all the effects and stuff like that. That's all kind of been the same. But I think, yeah, when we got to this, when we started playing around with like going heavier in different ways than what we had done. Not saying we're pushing the boundaries of anything here, but for us at least.
Right. I could hear the progression for sure, because I kind of went through the whole catalog and was listening, and like you could hear the production value increase, you could hear songwriting getting better, and like you guys are finding who you are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's good to hear, especially from an outside perspective. Like our manager's always like, yeah, the songs are getting better. And I'm like, oh, well, I hope they are. I mean, hearing somebody else actually say that and be like, I listen to everything, and like you can tell that there's a natural thing, is really cool to know.
Yeah, for sure. The video, which one was it? I think it was for Gas Fight. I caught the funny like Easter eggs in the opening credits. Mentioning what happened that day, I'm assuming, because I saw it said,
the title cards.
Yeah, the title card. It said starring Will as Tony Stark, and I caught that right because it goes real quick, and I paused it and I started reading it. It was like starring Will as Tony Stark, AJ and his gaff tape nipple pasties, Nico and his near-death experience, and Bentley minus the speaker we needed for playback. I cracked up.
Yeah, that's something our friend started doing, where like he wanted cool title cards, but he didn't have things to put in there, and so he would just
Mhm.
put random stuff. He would like credit people's dogs and stuff like that, and then we just kind of kept the trend going. And yeah, the Tony Stark thing. There's a video on Instagram of me like standing on the cliff, like in the opening scene of Iron Man, where he like has the rockets come. And
Yeah.
then Nico almost got killed by a bee that day too, and we were watching it from the cliff, and we could just see him like waving a spatula around by himself in the desert. I have a video of it somewhere. It's so funny. We didn't know what he was doing. We thought he was going insane, but he was like being attacked by bees. And then
I was gonna say, I hope no one almost fell off one of those cliffs that you were on or something.
I think AJ actually did almost fall off at one point. They weren't that high. It's just dirt and rocks. I'm sure it wouldn't feel good, but it would kill you.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I know that video was sick too. It has that really sick, like heavy breakdown in the bridge where the
Yeah.
guitars get super low.
Yeah, that's the first one where we were like full drop, full double drop, see what happens. And then we got Fluff messaged us and was like, "Hey man, what the fuck are you doing here? What am I supposed to do with this?" I was like, "I don't know, bro. It's all you, man. Figure it out."
What do you guys tune to?
So we're normally in like either C or C sharp. I get lost when we do the writing process. I know what the tunings are, and then once AJ starts final tracking guitars, I freaking forget. It just goes over. I know they're always in C or C sharp, and then whenever it does the double drops, it's that minus an octave.
Yeah, that's so
I think-
sick.
I want to say Gas Fight was C though. I want to say it's double drop C.
Yeah, my guess would have been C or that area.
Yeah, new metal tuning 101 is definitely C or C sharp, and then we just double drop it.
Also, the bottom of that, I fucking cracked up. It said, "You either die the hero or live long enough to be a metalcore band with a music video in the desert."
Dude, we've been on a tight budget, so all of the locations are just like, where do you guys want to film? And Tanner goes, well, I got a spot somewhere, and he just pulls something out of his ass, and we go there, and we're okay, we're here today. And then he makes it happen, and then the videos come out, we're like, damn, all right, thank you, dude, that was great. Like,
Yeah, I mean, for being like DIY and you guys just like doing it yourselves, it looks great, dude.
yeah, thank you. It's like I said, we have a small team, but a competent one. Yeah.
So as far as the new metal influence goes, who would you say were your biggest influences for the band as a whole?
Band as a whole, obligatory Linkin Park, obviously, but if we're going just not the obvious and not the deep roots, I mean, when we started it, we all talked about doing something a little bit more, like not marketable and friendly, but more towards like our core memories and like core beliefs, not beliefs, core music when we grew up, you know. So all of us grew up on the Linkin Park stuff, and I grew up on like Disturbed and Avenged Sevenfold and like Metallica and stuff like that. So we all kind of, and 3 Days Grace too is a pretty big one. So we kind of, yeah, that's like kind of where it started for like doing the whole like new metal stuff. And then obviously just the metalcore giants that we all love, you know, like we're all big fans of Bring Me the Horizon and The Plot and You and Architects, and just kind of blending some of that modern stuff that we're all really big fans of, and kind of came up listening, especially because Bring Me's been around for so long. I've been listening to Bring Me the Horizon since I was like a freshman or an 8th grader or something like that. So it's cool
Yeah.
to kind of see that band progress, like how that is. And you know, growing up, learning how to scream, listening to bands like that, and listening to, I'm trying to think of who else, like I was real into, like Asking Alexandria and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. You could definitely hear it. And it's a nice blend. Like it's you've seamlessly put them together for your own sound. Like I really dig it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a little culmination of as much as I can get in there.
Hey friends, if you're enjoying the show, quick reminder to hit the subscribe button and like the episode on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, please follow the show and leave a quick rating. It really helps me out a lot. And if you know someone who'd enjoy it, please share the episode with them too. Thanks so much. All right, back to it. If you had to choose 4 bands for your new metal Mount Rushmore, who would you pick?
New metal Mount Rushmore. It's 4 bands. I feel like Linkin Park's again, like just it has to go type thing. But then you have like, the question is like, what all encompasses new metal? Because some people say like System of a Down, and I don't really know if I call them new metal, but like Papa Roach is for sure sick and like deserving to be up there, especially because their new music is so good. So I feel like Papa Roach definitely belongs up there. And then I want to say Disturbed too, because of that whole Sickness record, which I can't remember the name. I think it's called Sickness.
I can't either.
The first album.
Yeah.
And then there's the one with Prayer on it, which is the like Star of David, and like it's like the red album with the horns and Star of David, I think. That one's also really good. I cannot remember the names of albums anymore for the life of me, but I feel like Disturbed has to be there. I feel like Linkin Park has to be there. I think Papa Roach deserves that spot, especially for what they did. Now, who's four is the real question. Slipknot, probably Slipknot, especially with Iowa. Iowa's too cool, but it almost feels more like thrashy at times and super, super aggressive. Not a big fan.
They were super heavy for being lumped in with new metal. Like they had a lot of straight up grindy death metal parts mixed in.
A lot of like really weird stuff and like guitar solos everywhere, which is not a big new metal thing.
Yeah.
Like credit due where credit is due for Korn and Limp Bizkit, but not something I was growing up on, I guess. Limp Bizkit took me a very long time to even like pretty much. I was not a fan of that at all.
Yeah. They would be on mine. It'd be tough to pick a fourth one though. Chimera was a big one for me because I grew up in Ohio and they were a Cleveland band.
I did not know that. I thought they were European for some reason.
No, yeah, they're about an hour from where I am now too. But yeah, they were a huge influence on us. And like Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, Chimera. I liked El Nino back then too a lot. They were a big one for me.
I also don't feel like Deftones is really new metal either. I mean, they have new metal songs, but I feel like overall they kind of get their own category because of all the soft stuff, like Koi no Yoken, and like that album is so unique, and I almost feel like it doesn't deserve to be lumped in with new metal.
Oh yeah, I agree. Since probably White Pony, they haven't been new metal. So that would leave like really the first two records, and even parts of Around the Fur are barely new metal, but Adrenaline, they just got lumped in again too at the time because it was like he did some rapping stuff and
and it's so weird. It's almost like shoegazy. Like I said, Koi no Yoken's like the album that I've listened to the most by Deftones and the one that I actually genuinely will go back to listen to. Yeah. And I just feel like that album separates them. And the new album, Ohm, or is Ohm the newest, or do they have another album?
Ohms was the latest, 2020.
It's Ohms. Yeah. I listened to that, and that one's weird as all hell.
Yeah. I didn't like Gore, the one before that. Ohms was better.
I didn't listen to that one, I don't think. When did that come out?
Probably like 4 years before. It's like 2016.
Damn. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah, Koi and Diamond Eyes are probably up there. Yeah, they're super sick.
Those are probably the best two albums in my opinion. Someone's gonna get mad because White Pony, everyone gets fucking real serious about White Pony, but
yeah, it's a masterpiece. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's always up there.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a good album for sure.
Did you hear the new song?
No, I haven't. See, that's why I was curious if there was an album because I knew they dropped something recently. But I didn't know if there was actually a new album out or not. That's why I was like,
Yeah, it was like, 3 or 4 days ago? It's just a single off the album. I think the album's in August.
Damn, that's fast for them.
But it sounds to me more like Koi or Diamond Eyes compared to the last two, which I'm stoked on. I hope it's more like that. But it's definitely that Deftones formula.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I feel bad that I have not listened to that. But then again, it's been a weekend, so.
Yeah.
If it had been like a month, then I'd be like, all right, my bad. But I try to stay as up to date with just music in general, especially in the genre, as much as I can. Like, I try to listen to as much new stuff as possible. So when something slips, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, dude, it's so hard now. And I'm old now, so I just don't have the energy to, like, seek out every new band. But I hear about a lot of shit on here that I don't know about, so.
Oh, really?
Or just like, they're like, oh, I love this album. I'm like, oh, I've never heard that. And then I'll make a list and like check it out later. So
I feel like if I ask for recommendations, I get too many and I get overwhelmed, and then my ADHD kicks in and it becomes like a task, and then I don't want to do it. But then every so often I go on deep dives and I start listening to a lot of stuff, and I'll just be like, oh, this person has a feature from that person. And then I'll go like, look who the feature is. And I'll like, not really my thing. Or I'll find an artist that's small with like under 100,000 monthlies, and I'll be like, cool, I'll listen to this, and then like go to their like related artists, because usually smaller artists get lumped in with smaller artists on Spotify, which is good and bad, but bad for the artist, but good for people looking for new music. And then yeah, I'll like just dig that way. And sometimes I get stuff. Sometimes I just listen to like 5 songs and I'm like, yeah, this ain't it.
I've been actually finding bands on Instagram a lot. They're getting really good with recommending band, kind of like the same thing you're saying, like bands of a certain size and a certain genre. You'll just get the whole list of like, you should also check out this.
Huh.
Because I'm also trying to find people to invite on here that are like within reach, and I don't want it to be just a metal podcast. So I'm like, I'll talk to anybody if they're cool.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that branching out into, if you're just doing music, like, yeah, if you're just branching out, like, then that's the way to kind of be. How did we, there's like, it's so weird too, because like, I feel like when you get to a certain size as a band, you start getting into different, like a, not a bigger pool maybe, but like a more widespread pool. And like our old booking agent posted about us, and then somebody commented and was like, oh, like Resider's sick. And I was like, I don't know who this is. And I clicked on him and said Alabama. And it was like, oh, his band was called Stay Lost. And so AJ and I were like, oh, let's listen to it. And so we sat down and listened to it. And then we like both like listened to a song and we looked at each other like, this is fucking sick. So I messaged the guy and I was like, y'all want a tour? So I've been trying to like, I was talking to them like a couple months ago. And then I was like, dude, like, it's just cool that you just connect with random bands through that way. And then like, I'll follow, producers, and there's this new band called Soul Keeper, I believe, and they're just starting to blow up. I found them last year and they put out like I think it was an album. I cannot remember what it's called, but it's like this crazy like Dillinger vein digital like hardcore sound, and it's like their aesthetic is like Microsoft Windows.
That's cool. That name sounds familiar. I may have heard of them.
It's sick. It's like yeah, if like Vane, Knocked Loose, Dillinger all kind of did a thing, and then they do like this like super digital like crazy sporadic music, and I love chaos vibes. So I was like, this is sick. And then yeah, they're slowly starting to pop off. They're getting more and more bigger tours. They're still a small band. I don't know where they're at monthly wise, but I know they're still under 100. But they're slowly getting bigger. I'm like, that's dope. Glad people are finding that, because sometimes bands just, you find little gems here and there. And I'm like, oh, looks sick.
Yeah, I'm so for Knocked Loose too. I'm so stoked with how they've blown up the last few years.
Oh yeah,
like
I don't tolerate the hate whatsoever. Like, you don't even have to like the band. You just can't hate on them. It's like Bring Me. It was like Bring Me, when they did That's the Spirit. You can hate on the music all you want, but like regardless or not, they're doing so much for our music scene and for bands, and they're the new Avenged Sevenfold, the new Metallica, the new like metal is in the mainstream. I think people underestimate how much bands like that really do for us. Like when Avenged Sevenfold was the underrated or underground artist of the year on City of Evil, like I don't think people really understood what them getting a song into Guitar Hero was for the genre at that time. And then Bring Me's the same way, Bring Me's doing massive stuff. Knocked Loose playing all these festivals and doing all these big shows is like so important for the scene and keeping it alive. They're the new, like, in my opinion, I think Knocked Loose is the new Slayer. I think the torch from Slayer is now in Knocked Loose's hands. Like, I think they're that scary, scary band, but that's huge on a mainstream level.
Yeah, because they were on, was it Fallon that they played on? Which
Fallon or Kimmel or one of those two.
I always confuse the two.
One of the
Jimmys. But like they played, and it was like, to people who watched that show, they were not expecting it. So they were getting calls from people like complaining like, this was scary as fuck. And I was like, yes, that is so awesome. That feels like I'm back in the 90s again.
Yeah, like that's so sick. And like I remember watching like YouTube videos as a kid of like Dillinger playing in like clubs and malls, and people being like, this is obnoxious, this is dangerous, this is so bad. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Like, right. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, like the video of Greg Puciano running on the crowd like in a mall is probably the top 10 coolest YouTube videos of all time. Like,
yeah, blowing fire and shit. Like, they're just legends.
Yeah, insane. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm really happy where metal is. I'm happy new metal's on a wave back. I'm happy like that a lot of these bands like Spirit Box and Knocked Loose are doing. I like that Spirit Box went on to one of the Jimmys as well, and they didn't play, like Circle With Me or anything with a chorus. They played Soft Spine. Like, fuck yeah. Play the double drop song with all screaming about people that you don't like in the industry. Like, yeah, play that song. That's sick.
Did you ever see when Slipknot was on Conan back in the day when Iowa was coming out?
I've seen resurface videos of it, and again, coolest shit ever.
Yeah, they told them to play the single, which was I forget which one, starts with the toms. It's like singy and like
What is the name of that song? I love that song. The
I need
sitting in the dark, I can't forget.
I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, that song, right? The like it's like all singing.
I think it's is it My Plague? No.
No, it's
Left Behind, that's it.
Oh, they wanted them to play that. Oh, wait. We're talking about Iowa. We're not talking about
Yeah.
I'm thinking All Hope Is Gone.
Yeah, so they were supposed to play that because it was the more catchy single, and they said, fuck you, we're gonna play the Heretic Anthem. They just played that, and that was the best thing ever.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. And like for a band like that, it's like you got 9 motherfuckers on stage. You don't even know what half of them are doing, and shit's just nuts. Like you're like, why are they here?
And that was in what, 2000 or 2001? So like, fans were still terrified. No one had ever seen anything like that on TV.
And if I remember correctly, I think somebody had just done some like mass murder thing and like quoted like with a katana or something. There was like a school mass. I don't know if it was a mass murder, but there was a school incident. And like it's been so long since it happened that I don't remember the exact details. But if I remember correctly, some kid in high school like committed some atrocities with a sword and like quoted Slipknot lyrics. And I remember that being a big like metal is evil catalyst, writing off the genre, being like they're influencing our kids to do evil things, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Same thing with Manson. I think somebody like commit suicide and like wrote Manson lyrics down or something like that back in the day, and those articles blow up.
I was in probably middle school then, or maybe high school, and I remember Manson got all the shit, Eminem got all the shit.
Eminem got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But for obvious reasons.
But that just made me like it more. And yeah.
Manson was cool. I remember being like young teenager, and my friend was like, "Did you know Marilyn Manson's like he said his audience his music's for kids?" And I was like, I mean, weird pedophile-y kind of statement, but also like being older now, I realize that was taken out of context, and what he meant is that like my music is to help people and like younger generation going through stuff and teach them to be accepted, And I'm
plus everyone in the music scene just calls people at shows kids too, which is like oh, like there's 100 kids there, but really it's like a bunch of 28-year-old dudes. Like
I've never thought about that, but that's so true. It's like it's especially working at venues, they're always like, yeah man, there's like 1,000 kids out there. You look out there and you're like, bro, that is all grown adults.
Yeah, bunch of 40-year-old dudes with beards.
21 plus up venue, man. What are you talking about? That's so funny that like that's actually true. That's what a lot of people say. I work at 2 different venues. One of them is 21 plus. The other one is all ages. But yeah, they both do that. They'll be like, yeah, there's 100 people here. There's 100 kids out there. I'm like, what do you mean 100 kids? Bro, there's a bar in this establishment.
What venues do you work at?
I work at Brick by Brick mostly down here, which is like a more metal geared venue. 400 cap venue. And then I also work at Soma up on occasion, and that's like a much bigger venue.
Okay, I played Soma back in the day. That was like the only time we came through on tour. I forget.
Was it a side stage or was it a main stage?
It was still a pretty big room, but it might have still been this. Like how many people can go in the side room?
500, and then there's a 2,000 cap. A 2,000.
Yeah, it was. It probably had to be the side room then, because it was like Acacia Strain, Through the Eyes of the Dead, and Us, I think.
Man, what was your band? I feel so bad. I feel like I should have asked that like a minute ago.
Oh, all good. From a Second Story Window.
Oh, that's a gnarly name.
Yeah, it's too long. I hate it.
But I mean, it makes you question like what from the window? A TV, a person, you, me, who?
No, it was cool back in the day because like everyone was doing the From Autumn to Ashes, the long names, the poetic stuff, and like it made sense then. But I don't really hate it. I hate just the length of it, because when you're like, yeah, we want to do a 1-word thing, I'm like, I'm jealous.
I'm a stickler for it, but apparently all of my favorite band. I didn't want to do a plural thing though, because I had done that in the past. I was like, the plural thing is outplayed. We can only pluralize so many words.
Yeah.
So we had to go with singular. But 1 word is always the move if you can, in my opinion. However, you know, my favorite band is still like The Plot and You, Avenged Sevenfold, Bring Me the Horizon. Like, it is what it is.
I think my favorite band name of all time is Glassjaw.
Glassjaw's a pretty sick band name.
Because you could picture it as any type of band and it's sick. Picture it as like a chick pop star. Sick. Metal
Actually,
band.
that makes it way cooler. I'm not even gonna lie. Because what are they? Post-hardcore technically?
Yeah, I think so.
Ish, yeah. So, yeah, no. A pop artist named Glassjaw would actually go off, or a rapper named Glassjaw would probably go way off. Like
It's hard as fuck, yeah.
it's a hard as fuck name. Yeah.
Or like an ambient band like Sigur Rós or something like
You
that.
can even do a shoegaze band named Glassjaw, and it still sounds sick.
Yeah. I don't know. I just always love that, and I'm jealous of that name.
There's like some band names out there, and I can't think of them right now that I'm like, they're the sickest. And then there's band names that I'm like, it's sick because of who it is. Like Dillinger's full name, the Dillinger Escape Plan, is cool because it's Dillinger, and it makes sense because it's so weird and out of pocket because the band is so out of pocket. But like, Bring Me the Horizon is a lame band name. Like,
they made it cool for sure.
Yeah, they made it cool, but like, I feel like the good band, bad band name guy right now. The I don't give a toot guy.
They took that from, was it Pirates? Yeah.
Pirates, yeah. There's some band names out there that I'm like, damn, I wish I had a friend take he told me about a side project he was doing called Morose. I'm like, that's dope. That's cool. That's a sick name. You can go anywhere with that. Because not many people know what the word, it's not a common used word, but it sounds cool and it looks good.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's a cool one. But not many. Silent Planet, sick band name.
Yeah, I don't really like that one, but they make it work. They're sick too.
They're just a sick band, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just dope.
I think it's the word planet I don't like. I don't know why.
Too close to Treasure Planet, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just like one of those, maybe it's the visual of the word.
I just feel like the aesthetic of the band fits the band name.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I feel like when you can pull that off, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess if you give that to Bring Me the Horizon in the MySpace days, it did make sense. But now it's kind of like Bring Me the Horizon. I feel like they're just been like, that's our band name. Same thing with Plot and You. I feel like the Plot and You makes no sense for their music at all whatsoever. But they've stuck with it for so long that, you know, they just, like, that band could absolutely just go by what everyone calls them and just change the name to Plot, and it would be fine. Nobody would care.
Yeah. So the long band names always do get abbreviated anyway. Everyone says Bring Me or Dillinger or, you know, like, but no, we don't have a good one for us. No one says From or just Window, which would be stupid.
Second Story. I don't know.
Yeah, that would probably be the only one that kind of works.
I feel like because it's too close to sounding like an unrelated band.
Yeah. Second Story could be its own band, yeah.
Also, don't people call From Autumn to Ashes just Autumn to Ashes?
I don't know. No, I don't, for some reason, no one has talked about them to me much in the last, like, I don't know how many years. I forgot about them for a minute, but I loved them back in the day. They were a big influence on me.
That might have been a bit before my, like, embark into the scene, like the depth of the scene. Because, like, I think at that time, you're talking like, what is that, mid 2000s probably? Like,
yeah, like
As I Lay Dying time.
3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. And I feel like that's probably, I think I didn't get into metalcore until I found All That Remains. Again, shout out Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Like 6, that was sick.
Yeah, that was mind blowing when I saw that for the first time.
Of all things and of all bands to put on a Guitar Hero, 6 being like a random unlock song. And what did they have? They had Fall of Troy, and then they had another like metal post-hardcore band on there. I cannot remember what it was on Guitar Hero 2.
I can't remember. I played it for like a year at my friend's house, but I never had it.
Oh man, I demolished Guitar Hero 2. 2 and 3. 1 was so bad. One we don't even need to talk about 1, how bad it was. But 2 and 3 were the sickest.
I loved playing the drums the most.
Oh, for like Rock Band, yeah.
Oh, that's what we played. We played Rock Band. I'm confusing the two.
There's so many, dude. Like, and I feel like they just became one thing at a certain point in time. You know, like
yeah,
I get that for sure.
Well, let's take it back to the beginning for you. I'd like to hear can you remember like the moment when you were young where your passion for music was sparked, like a specific song or a show you went to?
Musician's Friend magazine in the middle of a cul-de-sac. I picked that up. I went home. I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to play guitar." He said, "Okay, I also want to play guitar," and he bought a guitar. And then,
Perfect.
and then, and dude, I remember listening to like the weirdest music back then. Just whatever my dad was in the Navy, so he would like go on the boats for 9 months, and then basically all those guys would burn CDs and swap CDs. So my dad would come home with the old school CD binders, you know what I'm talking about, where they have like the four on each page. And he'd bring those home, and I just plugged those in and listen to whatever the hell was on there. It was like System of a Down, Toxicity, Meteora, Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory was on there, and then it'd be like Creed and fucking the most random. Like I remember because that would be like early 2001, 2002 area. So I got like Metallica's like what is that? A Reload and Reload. Again, we're relatively new at the time, I think. I don't know. Got a lot of those, and then yeah, so learned to play guitar for a little bit, and I was probably 7 or 8. I lose track of the years when it comes down to those times. And then I stopped playing guitar and said, "Hey, I want to play drums." So my dad was like, "Okay, let's do that." And then he got me a drum teacher, and the guy was like, "Hey, your son's not practicing. He keeps wanting to play these rock songs. He's not doing rudiments, so I'm gonna drop him after like 3 months." And then I got dropped from that. Then I went, and my dad was like, "Hey, I have a friend at work who's like plays guitar and drums that I jam with sometimes." He's like, "Do you wanna learn drums with him?" So I learned drums with him, and then he taught me, which was cool. That was actually, even though he wasn't as good of a drummer and he wasn't teaching me like rudiments, he was teaching me the very fundamentals of music and then how to jam. So he would teach me a beat or a rhythm and teach me how to find the one and do fills. And then he would be like, "Okay, I'm going to play guitar now, and I just want you to hold the beat down with this type of music." So he would teach me like a reggae beat, and then he'd be like, "We're going to play a reggae song for, 5-10 minutes. You can experiment, but as long as you come back to the one, you'll be fine." And then I was like,
Right.
"Okay." So he taught me how to jam, which is really important. And then when I got further and further into life, I ended up going back to guitar for a little bit and learning guitar more. And then it was a whole lot of Green Day and a whole lot of like early stuff, like early rock songs that were easy. Offspring, Green Day, Metallica, which isn't easy, but there's certain songs that are. And
Yeah.
then I just started writing. By the time I was like 10, I just started writing music, and then played drums till I was like 19 or 20, and then got tired of writing vocals in bands for vocalists that couldn't be vocalists. And then I just decided one day that I was like, I'll figure it out. And now I'm here.
Yeah. That's awesome. You found music way earlier than I did. I was late to the party. I didn't start playing guitar until I was 13 or 14.
It's the best time. I don't think I locked in on guitar until I was like 13 or 14. That's when I was like playing every day and like going to sleep with it in my bed and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of have to be a prodigy to get into it when you're really young. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't young like that. I got friends that started playing drums when they were like 4, you know?
yeah. But I think it's great for you as a vocalist that you have experience on drums and guitar, because I think every vocalist I've been in a band with, that's all they've done. So I'm sure that helps you so much with songwriting and understanding structures. And
Yeah, AJ and I write everything on guitar together, and then usually if I write something solely by myself on guitar, I usually, write what I want and then give it to him, and then I let him do his thing and kind of AJify it. He'll take a riff that I wrote and he'll be like, like it's cool, but I want to do it this way, or I want to play it here, play it like this. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's your part. You're the one playing it live. I don't care.
yeah,
As long as the keys don't move too much and like we can kind of figure that out, then like sure. But other than that, yeah, like guitar has become my main instrument. I don't play drums that much anymore. I don't really get to. I met our drummer when I was 21, and I'd been playing drums since high school, like actively all the time and being in bands. And then I met him and I was like, "Oh, I suck, bro. Like I thought I was good and I fucking suck." And that's when I was like, and my vocalist is worse at vocals than I am at drums. I was like, "Oh man, I gotta figure something else out." So yeah, vocals was a fast track for me because I was around people that were good, and like I was around people when I started doing vocals. I immediately was like 6 months into playing shows when I had started, and everyone was like, "Well, you've already been writing them, so you got that part down. Now you just need to learn the techniques." And I was around people that were good, so it was just like, it's like, well, you scream like this, don't scream like that. You're gonna blow out your voice if you do it this way. Oh, okay, cool. And then singing came naturally through the screaming, oddly enough, and I'm still working on that. Singing is hard, man.
yeah, it is hard.
It's different. Screaming is like you can kind of turn it on and off, and as long as you warm up and take care of yourself, you're going to be fine, and you have good technique and whatnot. And like I learn new screaming techniques all the time for fun, even ones I won't ever use, but I wouldn't say it's difficult in the way that singing is. Singing is like taking care of your voice in all the same ways, if not more, as well as like the weather affects you, especially on tour. And the singing sucks too, because it's like you could sing something on key, but it might not sound good. You're just like, well, what am I doing wrong? You know, like I'm on key, but like, why doesn't it sound good? What part of this is bad? Is it my voice? Is it the tone, the note? It's sometimes it's like that, man.
Yeah, sometimes doing a dissonant note just pulls the part together, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, sometimes. And like sometimes you can be like kind of off key and just dirty it up, and then it's like kind of needs, you're like, it sits there, especially with the scream singing and how high that stuff is. It's like I know those notes aren't locked in perfectly, and there's no way to auto tune that. So
yeah,
whatever it is whatever it is, you know.
That I love that style of scream singing, whatever you call it. Like Ollie Sykes, Sam from Architects. Like I think he did it best. It's just amazing.
Yeah, Architects is for sure. I think after Chester, it would definitely be Sam from Architects as like top tier vocalist at that specific style.
Yeah.
He's so fucking, and Landon Tours also, but he has like a weird like way of doing it. Landon's is like almost like a falsetto inside of a scream, and I don't understand it one bit. I'll get it every now and then, and I'll have it locked in for like 10 minutes, and then I'll never figure it out again. It like leaves me.
Would you say that was the hardest thing to learn?
Scream singing? No, that was the first gateway into singing, oddly enough. So it started with screaming, and then I remember in one of the bands that I was in, we were doing a chorus, and I was like, well, we're going to run it screaming because that's our only option. So we started with it, and he was like, you know, man, you're like kind of hitting a note here. And he was like, my guitarist at the time was like, you're hitting a note, and it like you're actually moving the note up and down a little bit. He's like, it's like 2 or 3 notes, and he's like, do it like this. And then like I nailed it, and then he was like, yeah, like you're basically you're on key. And I was like, oh well, I didn't know. And then started listening to more bands like that, and sort of figuring out that it's just the difference between shouting, yelling, and screaming. And then you're adding your shout just needs to be on the note that you want it to be.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's almost mental. Like you just have to think you're singing, but you're using your screaming to overtone. I'd be a terrible vocal coach.
Right.
I'm really good in a studio with other vocalists and explaining it with my hands. I'll be like, yeah, I need you to like squeeze out takes, you know, like when you're doing this line, like, you know, it needs to be like, like you need to tighten down your voice, but I'm really bad at explaining how to do the technique to get to that point. Like I can help you when you're already learned it, but I can't help you get to it.
Well, it's got to be so weird to explain what's going on inside your throat to someone too, because like some people are just like, I just feel it. Like I don't know how to tell you how to do it. You know, just I don't know.
The best way is like describing vocals is like an up and over, especially with scream singing. It's like you want to go up your throat and to the roof of your mouth and over your tongue, because like if you're going at something, you're probably straining your voice. I feel like.
Yeah.
If you're like pushing like forward, it's good. If you're going up and over to the roof of your mouth, you have more control, and you're probably not straining your vocal cords. I don't know. I'm not a vocal coach, so if anybody listens to this and starts going, "Oh, he said that's how he does it," I don't know. That's just how it feels, right?
But I loved that style when like especially for super heavy music, because I think the like scream, 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 and then just the clean singing chorus that seems just placed in there, it kind of bridges the two, and it makes it work really well. So you can still have a melody in there.
Yeah, I think Architects made it so cool. Like like made it so different, and so like it was just cool. And like you said, it bridged the gap, and then also Architects does like the softer clean singing, and now they do full clean singing, which is also great. Like I think Sam is probably one of the best vocalists in metalcore to begin with. He's definitely in the top 3. Ollie's gotten there. He used to be kind of rough, I feel like, when he was learning to sing and kind of giving up screaming. I feel like he was kind of rough, but now I feel like he's kind of come back as one of the best too, which I didn't really ever expect.
I'd agree with that. Architects, Lost Forever, Lost Together, and the one after that, I forget. Those were like my 2. Yeah, those 2 records are just fucking phenomenal.
I think it's Gravity that I'm always like, dude, it's Gravity and Gone with the Wind. The notes are so crazy high and they're so emotional that I'm like, fuck, dude, like,
Yeah, I know what
it's
you're talking about. Gravity, especially, that melody is amazing.
yeah, the Gravity, so cool. I definitely credit Architects with like when I was learning to scream, kind of like figuring out. Also, I used to watch a lot of their live videos. I used to watch live videos of bands to get me like fired up to go
Yeah,
play. Because whenever I see bands killing it, it just makes me want to play more. I'm like, it's not almost like in a competition way where I'm like, fuck, I want to go do that. I want to be better. Like I want to go like be next to that band and play with that, play with them
yeah,
in like almost like a competitive way. Like you're playing a sport with somebody in a weird way.
yeah. I could see that. Who would you say are your like personal like biggest influences as far as vocalists? Like if you had to pick like 3 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Landon Tours is definitely up there as far as like just overall range and that dude just does cool stuff. He has so much diversity in his voice and like his solo music is so sick. And I got to tour with him on a solo run and it was downright impressive to watch him drink and smoke and do what he does with his solo music. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
this dude's insane.
Some people can do it no matter what. I'm just like, I don't know how you pull that
Yeah.
off.
Him, Caleb Shomo for sure. Caleb Shomo, again, another vocalist that I think had the right vibe off the get-go and was not really the best live, but now he is probably one of the best live. I think somebody posted a TikTok of him like singing in the drop chorus live on Summer of Loud, and I was like, dude, this man isn't just like, he's not just singing and hitting the notes anymore. This man's like singing. Like he's
Wait, which band is that?
Beartooth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's gotten so fucking good, and it's sick to see somebody only progress. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Beartooth. I've seen Beartooth since the beginning, since Self-Help days, like when they were 1, 2, 3 songs out. I've been watching that band live, and it's sick to see them every time, and they only get better. Because, you know, sometimes bands get older, and they just get worse.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
And,
blown up like crazy since the
yeah.
first time I heard about them. They kind of came around when I wasn't paying attention and I was out of music, so they kind of slipped by me. But I'm well aware of how huge they are. That's crazy.
Massive band. Absolutely been one of my favorite bands since they started. I loved Attack Attack, too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, vocalist wise, it's definitely like Sam Carter for sure, and like Landon Tours, Caleb Shomo. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that's like kind of off the path. Singing wise, there's like a lot of cool artists. Like man, I don't know. The scene, those are definitely the artists that I like grew up listening to and like screaming along with back in the day, like early Attack Attack stuff and early Plot and Use stuff, not early Architects, because Architects has been around so long. I definitely was trying out with Dillinger too. Dillinger was what taught me the like real raw, like just give it performance, give it whatever, just let out whatever feral demon you got in you for the night or the day and just let it happen, you know,
Mhm.
especially from a learning perspective. But then, you know, being a teenager, I listened to a lot of that First Asking record, which is coveted.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's still amazing sounding. It's just funny that it's their best record. Arguably.
What year did that come out?
2008 or 9. I was a freshman. I was like my first Soma show. Somebody was like, "Oh, Asking Alexandria is playing with All That Remains." I was like, "Oh, I love All That Remains." And then I ended up in an Asking Alexandria pit, and I was like, "This is terrifying. What is going on?" I did not think that this is how this night was gonna go.
Yeah, I always wanted to come back to Soma, but we only got to play that one time, I think. And then I don't know if I was in my old band before that. We came to San Diego, but I don't know where we would have played.
I wonder if it would have been Brick by Brick, because if you can remember the venue, Brick by Brick's like it's near Soma, it's near the beach, but
This would have been like 2006. So
Brick by Brick was around. Brick by Brick
Okay.
been around for a long time.
We might have just stayed there with someone. I don't know.
Yeah, San Diego's odd.
We played Tijuana, and then I think we stayed with someone in San Diego.
Was crossing back then just way easier with touring? Because I remember bands up here used to play down there all the time, but now nobody does that.
Yeah, we I don't know how we got connected with the promoter, probably through MySpace, and it was like, come play a show. Like, you have a bunch of fans down here. We're like, we do. So we just we got through no problem. I've told
Weird.
this story on the podcast before, but we had this blue Dodge Ram van. It was like a 96, and I don't know how it made it across the country from Ohio to fucking Mexico. But our bass player was like a wild card, and he just spray painted dinosaurs on the side of the van. It said all this fucked up shit. It said like 666 boners on the roof, and like let's get high, bitch. It like and just had like a brontosaurus and shit. So we had to drive that through the border and then try to get back through. And when we came back through, they took us all out of the van. They're like, there's definitely at least a couple pounds of coke in this van. Like, look at this thing. And there was us, like, you know, just dirty, fucking haven't showered in days, covered in tattoos. So they take us aside, and then they put it through the scanner. They got cameras all over it. They're seeing all of that. And then the guy comes over cracking up, and he's like, all right, you guys are good to go. We loved the whatever he quoted, the thing on the top of the van said like 666 boners or something, and we were just like, so like, oh my god. But we had to drive around that thing, and I don't know why we never repainted it or something, but we just didn't care.
I'm surprised you guys didn't like torch it and film a video torching it, because that's an insane thing to just drive around. Like, you're asking to be pulled over.
Yeah, and we never got pulled over, I don't think. But the reason we did
not, we're like, okay.
Yeah, the reason we didn't torch it or do anything crazy was it was our singer's van that he had to like drive to work, and like that was
he drove it to work too.
Yeah. Oh, he was so pissed because he just came out of the house one day, and our bass player did it like by himself, and he was like, "What the fuck." Now we have to take this on tour and I have to drive it to work. We eventually got a new van, but yeah, we had that for a couple years. Absolutely ridiculous,
bro. If Nico told, I drive our van to work. If Nico told me, if I came home one day and Nico was like, yeah man, I lit that thing up with some spray paint last night, it was a good time, beat his ass.
Yeah,
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't. He just shrugged and was like, okay. But we were just such like, we didn't care about anything then. We were just a crazy partying band, just drinking, smoking cigs. Like, just we were known for that though. Like, I guess, but good times.
I mean, at least it's like, what van are you? The one with all the fucking dinosaurs, bro.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
You'll know when we're here.
So have you guys done a lot of touring?
What are we, like 5 or 6 tours deep as a band? I mean, weekenders, couple week runs here, trying to go out at the end of the year here, see what happens, and then trying to gear up for next year mostly.
Yeah,
but we're trying to get on the road a lot more, man. It's tougher now. Like it really is, especially in California, man. The gas prices here, it's like you're starting in the red here. Like, you just know you're 150 deep day one.
Yeah.
So it's definitely difficult. Definitely want to tour more. It's nothing that our personal lives are necessarily preventing. It's all just need the tours, and it's tough. It's definitely a tougher time, I feel like, to tour than it ever has been, but it's not deterring us from doing it.
Yeah, so everyone's all in. Like, if you guys got huge tours, everyone would be like, "Yep, just leave."
Yeah, we had a pending one that we thought we were gonna get, and it was a full US. And I was like, "All right, guys, get ready to quit your jobs." Like, well, they were like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna tell them what's gonna happen, and then they can decide if they want to fire me or let me go. That's up to them. Not my problem."
Yeah.
I also work at venues, so I have the backup. You know, like I can just take more shifts.
Right, and they understand, like, working at
Mostly.
a venue. Yeah,
I could not all venues, but most.
I could never keep a job back in the day because I didn't like we would be gone for a month or two, and I would just like work at a telemarketing place or whatever, and then like I would make my runs through all of those, and then have nowhere else to go. But that was the most exciting thing, though. Like when we got our first full US tour booked that we did ourselves without a booking agent,
crazy,
just all through MySpace. And
feat of work now, or like a feat of accomplishment nowadays. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin now, but we would just put a whole list of like, here's a route we made and all the dates, and just book us, and then people just did it, and it worked, and we were like, holy
whoa
shit. And if something fell through or we had an opening that we couldn't fill, we'd just find a house show. People like come play in my garage, and like 100 kids would show up. It was awesome.
living the dream. Speaking of
Yeah.
Beartooth, like that was something they did in their beginning. They did a house show only tour, and I was like, man, that's like such a cool idea, but I can only imagine like the liability and like kind of somewhat sketchiness to it as well. And like the sketchiness isn't the deterrent necessarily, but like still, like I feel like nowadays it's just people are so weird about stuff like that.
Yeah, I loved a good house show, but a whole tour of them would probably like something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, dude. And like I remember I remember it looked like it did well, but it would be like some days would be crazy and other days would just be like 100, maybe 50 to 100 people. And I'm like, that's still sick. But it's like it's not getting promotion like a normal tour would. And you're basically losing money that whole tour because you're just going out there and doing something cool
Yeah.
to do something cool. Like you're not really expecting to make money. And if you sell merch, you can't really sell it at like a normal price. You can't roll up to a house show and sell a $35 shirt. You know, you're doing a 15 or a 20.
Yeah. That's more for like street cred and having fun.
Yeah, it's definitely like a cool thing to do and kind of just get and like if they did it nowadays, they would be it'd be a block party, but and it would be a nightmare. But I would imagine the content would be so cool that would come out of that. Like Silly Goose
Sure.
did crazy stuff like that too, but they were more like guerrilla warfare playing music,
Yeah.
which I fuck with. I think it's cool.
No, they're sick for sure.
Yeah, definitely one of the coolest modern bands right now, I think. I think they will blow up. I think the marketing might be a little tough to market a band named Silly Goose though.
Yeah. It works for them though. Like if
It
someone
makes sense.
suggested that to me, I'd be like, hell no, absolutely not. But for them, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's like, but like, I loved the whole we're at Beyonce's concert and we're playing in the gas station across the street. It's like 200 people outside of like Beyonce. I think they did Taylor Swift. They did some like A-list celebrity they did. And I was like, you're asking for so much legal repercussions right now.
Yeah. But if that makes the news, then it's like, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, their little trailer that has like the like clearly DIY'd like jigsaw cutout of like a lift. It's fucking nuts. I toured that band in a heartbeat. If somebody said you're gonna get paid $0 and you're gonna go on tour across the country in Silly Goose, I'd be like, we'll make the money back in merch. We'll do it. It's fine.
Yeah. Especially like when you're a newer band that hasn't toured a lot yet, like those experiences are just worth, everything.
I'd probably do it even with like even like 5 years down the line. I'd probably still do it for $0. There's some bands that I'm like, I would just go to go. I know we're gonna get like trampled on, by them. Like they're gonna
Right.
kill it. They're gonna crush us every night, but it's awesome. Like it's worth it. Like Code Orange or something like that, or yeah, like Dillinger. I'd be like, yeah, I'll tour with Dillinger. I know we're gonna lose like that. Where no one's gonna come for us versus them, but like I'm just there for the vibe.
I feel like these days though, people are more open to like mixed bills when
Absolutely.
back in the day, if we were on the slightly wrong tour, like it would people would just empty out when we played.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
It
people
was
were much more finicky about, oh, it's not metal enough or,
I feel like that 2005 to 2012 area, or even 2008, 2012 niche of like post-hardcore metalcore days. I feel like they used to stack bills too, where it'd be like 6, 7 band tours, and you're like, dude, what? How are you getting this many bands on a bill?
Yeah, I found one of our old tour passes that was like that. It was like August Burns Red, us, Heavy Heavy Low Low, like see you next Tuesday. And I'm like, how did anyone get paid? Like,
Yeah. And nowadays you see every tour is like 3-4 bands max.
yeah. I prefer that, honestly.
I think everybody does, but back in the day, yeah, it was like it would be like these crazy like long stacked bills, and I'm like, how did they do this? Like how like the All Stars tour, like that was like 20 bands.
Yeah. And the crowd they get burnt out too.
Yeah.
Just standing there all night. Even if you want to see the headlining band, you're there for 5-6 hours.
Also, I think it was All Stars, and I believe it was Texas in July and Gideon back in the day on that tour. I could be it could be the wrong tour, but I remember at Soma, you have a 2,500 cap room on the main stage, and then you have a 500 cap room on the side stage. People that are coming there to mosh and just hang out. You're taking like I think the tour probably did 1,500 people, right? but you're taking those 1,500 people, and then probably 400 of them are smashing into the smoking lounge, and then the other 700 are trying to smash into the 500 cap room to watch one of the bands. And it's like, dude, this is brutal. Like, you can't, once you're in that side stage room, you're not moving. And then all the bands are trying to watch their homies or whatever. So the whole back of the stage is lined with band members, and then people can't go anywhere. I'm like, this has got to be, fire marshal shows up, we're all screwed. Fire marshal's not getting in the building. Like,
You load directly onto that side stage, right, from the back?
Yeah, so there's like a weird, so so the layout is like, main stage is, if the building is one rectangle, right? If you're staring at it and it's a long ways and then short sides, the main stage is like 3/4 of the left side of the building with the lobby in the front, and then the side stage is like, what is the word? Not parallel. Whatever the word for not parallel is, like a T to main stage, and it's the other 1/4 of the venue. So the main stage is this way facing that way, and then side stage is this way facing that way. And then, yeah, you load from the back of the stage. There's like a shack on the back attached to the building that you load in through from back there. And then the smoking lounge is the alley in between the Soma and the rest of the businesses, which has got to be the most annoying thing for those businesses.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be hell for them. But
I have a memory of that place specifically because I was traumatized because I had a bad night because our other guitarist had to leave to go home for a wedding or something. So I had to take over trying to figure out how I can play our set as one guitarist. So we're like cutting some songs, and like, so we figured out the songs I could do, but we were rushed to get on stage that night, and I didn't have time to like check because he did our clean parts and stuff, and I never used the clean channel on my amp. So I'm rushing, have 5 minutes and changeover, and I just like, okay, I got my delay pedal for whatever. And then when we hit the part in the song where I'm supposed to start it, it's just me. My clean channel was like jacked all the way up. It sounded like complete dick. And I just like was so fucking embarrassed.
it just shot up in volume?
Yeah, it was way louder than the distorted channel, and it sounded horrible. Now that I'm older, I would have been like, "Oh, let's just make a joke. Like, hold on a second, let me, fix it real quick." But then I was like embarrassed, and I was like, "I'm just gonna keep going and grit my teeth and get through it." Luckily, it was just a short intro of the song, but it was so fucking embarrassing. And I remember always that it happened at Soma.
That stage too has, the only thing that's changed on that stage, it's the exact same stage, is the PAs are gone on the side. We now have like line arrays or whatever the hell, and then we have we got rid of the old school can lights, and they're all LED or RGB, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever now. So
so what year did you guys start?
no, I don't think so. 2022, maybe 23. What are we on? We're going.
Yeah, I remember your first songs was like 22.
I think 22.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd like to hear how the band formed and how did you guys know each other before that, or?
Oh yeah. So like I said, I met our drummer when I was like 21, and he like blew me under the water, and I was like, all right, bro, well, whatever, you're too cool for me. Nico and Bentley were in a band called Made of Dishonor back in the day, and so they're like lifelong friends. They've been friends since they were in like elementary or middle school or something like that. I don't know. Nico and I met through the studio as well, that we used to all like frequent, and where we all started doing bands and stuff. And then Nico and I lived together for a few years, and we started a band called Thorn, like a COVID project, to just be odd time signatures, heavy music, deathcore, not deathcore necessarily, but like just fuck ass music to be heavy, pushing the metalcore heavy spectrum as far as we could. And then that was sort of a thing, and it was supposed to be an internet project. It was supposed to be like a COVID thing. Wasn't really supposed to turn into a band. We got people involved. We did some videos. It turned into a band. Some crazy stuff happened with some of the members. Everyone's friends except for one person, but it's because he literally disappeared off the face of the earth, which is the fun. Like, quite literally, just zero contact. I have no idea what happened to him. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no idea. Was a friend of ours, and he just, something happened in his life, and then the next day we didn't hear anything from him, and then a week went by, and then a month went by, and yeah,
weird. No one knows where he is.
I think Nico might have contact with his sister, maybe. I really don't know, but as far as I know, I haven't heard from him since that day. So, but yeah, and then we had a conversation before that happened, before that guy disappeared, about it was just so frustrating because I moved to Portland during COVID, and when we were doing that band, and all the guys were like, "Well, I want to play shows, but I don't know how I'm going to play these songs. Like, there's songs that are in like 4 different time signatures, and they're changing tempos, and like they're really hard to play, and I don't know how we're going to play this, but I want to play shows, and like I want to do this." And I was like, "Well, I'm not there anymore, and this wasn't designed to be a real band. It was designed to be like a fun internet project that Nico and I were doing, and we needed people for videos, and then everyone ended up joining the band, but Nico and I are still paying for everything." So when AJ joined and we had 6 people, we had a conversation, and then it was just like, okay, well, we want to go back to our roots and do something more fun, more easy to play, a little more commercial, more choruses, more singing. So we restructured the band into what Resider is now, and we've stuck to those. The same 4 people have been in the band the whole time. We have not had any member changes.
Nice.
So we stuck to that, and then instead of just being like, okay, we're gonna be a new band and change the structure of the band, we just made a whole new band, and we're like, we're gonna do a whole new name, not rebrand the same band. We're gonna do a whole new thing. We're gonna write some songs first, and then we'll get them to the studio, and we'll get them mixed and mastered, and then we'll go from there. Like,
Yeah.
we wanted to do it the right way coming around, instead of being like, all right, let's post a promo and then be like, music coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned, I work in like social media and marketing and stuff, and it's like, never post anything like that. Just post it when you're ready, because people are like, cool, who cares? Like, tell me something. There's too much shit out there.
I think we did like a soft launch for Resider like a week before. It was just to like get the pages open.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Tell our friends. We just did a soft launch, and then it was like, all right, Spore Breath drops this day. Spore Breath dropped, and then it was like the day after. We're like, cool, and here's our first show, and then we just started that way. And even starting that way was a fucking grind, man. Like, if you're gonna be in a band, like, prepare for a grind. Like, only some of these bands really pop off really fast, and they probably put in a lot of work beforehand. They probably didn't just drop a song and be like, all right, cool, like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very few get lucky off TikTok or something, or
Yeah, I've got friends that do hella numbers on TikTok, and they're killing it, but like, they have been a band for 10 years, I think, or something like that, and they're killing it on TikTok, but like, there's back catalog of work to get to that point.
Yeah.
There's I think the only band that I've seen do really, really well and really, really fast was Gore, and I think they're really, really good. So I think, and if I had to guess, I don't know them, but if I had to guess, they probably put in a lot of work before they got to that point, and they probably got all of their ducks in a row and then dropped the music, and the algorithm favored it.
Yeah.
And by the algorithm favoring it, I don't mean that as like a they got lucky thing. I just mean that the song was good, and it hit the right people at the right time, and it did what it does.
Yeah, sometimes the stars aligned, and even if they didn't put in like a ton of work for that band specifically, they probably had a lot of experience from other projects and other things that didn't work out. And
exactly,
collectively, it all comes together. It's like, all right, like you were saying, this time we're going to do it fucking right, get everything lined up, and then sometimes, boom, it just clicks.
Yeah, I think Resider started off strong, and then I think it did take us, because the band that we did before, I don't think we actually exercised the muscles of being a band. We only exercised the muscles of music videos, promos, and writing music, and even then that was all through COVID, so it was very far and few and very lenient on the visuals and social media side of things. And also social media, I think social media did a big change in 2016, 17, 18 time era, but slow. But I think after COVID, it was, I think 2022 to 2023, there was a very fast change in social media.
Yeah.
And like, I like you said, you work in social media, so I'd assume you probably know more about that than I do. But from what I've seen I feel like social media did change very rapidly in 2023 into a whole different thing, where short form content didn't become an anybody thing. It became a select few who are really good at it game, versus just anybody.
And like TikTok, the way their algorithm works, where anybody could post anything and go viral immediately, rather than people who have large followings. Everyone had to copy that. Like it forced everyone. So Instagram became that. YouTube's now that with their shorts algorithm and shit. So it screwed over the people who had a lot of followers already, because all of a sudden their videos aren't getting seen unless the algorithm likes it as much. And then everyone just copycatted TikTok. So that's pretty much what happened. And
And TikTok was around for a while too, but it was known as the music dance app for so long. And then bands and whoever else. I was just talking to AJ about it yesterday, and I was like, dude, I think Honey Revenge changed the game of how people market bands. And I know a little bit on the backstory, which I won't talk about because that's like I've just heard things through the grapevine, and and I've like I don't say I know about it on the back end. I guess I've heard like that's a strategy, and I've heard people say that they do and don't like it. I guess I don't want to be controversial and say something about a band that I don't know personally, but I've heard people say how they find it very annoying, that strategy, and how other people say that's the only way to get signed or get big. And it's not true in either standpoint, because you have to be annoying to get people's attention. You have to touch like 20 points of contact with somebody in order for them to actually check something out a lot of times. But then also, it's not the only way, because you look at a band like Sleep Token that blew up randomly out of nowhere on a visualizer. Like, it makes no sense. And then, like I think Honey Revenge, though, I do think Honey Revenge and Magnolia Park specifically, I think those two bands changed how every other band looks at TikToks.
Yeah. I think like I've learned too, like trying to keep up, because I've been doing this forever. And then it felt like pretty much the same thing until that shift. And then I'm like, shit, like you got like, I didn't have to worry about hooks before or trying to grab someone's attention in 3 seconds, right away.
Yeah.
And, now I'm learning to do that for my own stuff, because it's like, for the most part, outside of like the group of people that know my old bands and like when I post a clip, it's going to be, two guys I don't know, scroll, like, so you have to get people's attention right away. And no matter how interesting the conversation is, they're just not going to stick around.
It's so difficult. And even for us, we have like the gas fight video got a reaction video on TikTok through Riff Referee. And he did like, I thank him every day because he changed the trajectory of the band numbers wise. And I don't even know what about it got people's attentions. I don't know if it's just the song. I don't know if it was his reaction. I don't know if the algorithm just said this is cool, and then people were like, yeah, the song's cool, and they like. I genuinely don't even understand what about the video did so well. But then I kind of touched on when we were in the Rat Race cycle. Actually, not when we were in the cycle, like 6 months after we had released Rat Race. It was just doing whatever, I think it was like the biggest peak we had as a band at the time, and then. I started just experimenting with different video types and different hooks and different captions. And I landed on the Eat the Rich thing with Rat Race. And it got a lot of attention, especially when the government was shutting down TikTok. It got a lot of attention. And it got a lot of negative attention too, though, because I think it was a controversial topic. And I think that the people that stand behind the Eat the Rich movement and the anti-billionaire stuff, I think a lot of people sided with that and liked the fact that it was talking about that, but then it pulls in all that negative stuff as well. So I kind of backed off on it because I was like, the negativity isn't something that I want to be known for. Like, I don't want to be straight from the path necessarily, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just personally, I don't feel not charged enough, but educated even enough to argue with people all day on social media over politics. But I did find that negative content like that does pull people in, because somebody goes, oh, who the fuck this dumb band, they're so stupid, like, but it watches half the video, like.
I get it, because like people, when you piss people off, no matter what it is, they're gonna want to comment, and people can't like stay they can't stay quiet. So then that engagement is gonna shoot it through the roof, and it brings in more people. Then you have people from both sides going at it, and I get like, you didn't intend that, so it's like, oh, fine, but I get not wanting to like do that on purpose for sure.
Yeah, it was more like this is what the song is social political commentary, and like this is a angry song about this kind of stuff. And then it was just crazy because I started seeing people comment about like how they were like, yeah, dude, like, go Trump, I hate the government. And I'm like, that's you're not getting it. Like, you're wrong. Like, you're assuming the song is about your side, but it's not. And then people would take it the other way too, and being like, yeah, like, go Democrats. And like, I'm like, dude, this is. And then I started playing with it and making jokes out of it, and then it started getting a lot more attention. And I was like, all right, now I gotta like get out of this, because this isn't a left-right thing anymore. And that's not what I was trying to get at to begin with. That's not even what the lyrics are about, guys.
Yeah. Like, well, people are so like brainwashed into their sides that that's
Yeah.
all they think about. So no matter what they see, they immediately connect it to whatever is going on in their head, and it's like
Yep.
you can make something not political at all into anything. You know, it's so gross. I hate it.
It was wild getting like "Go Trump" comments on things. And I was like, I don't even understand how you pulled that out of your ass. Like, I don't understand how you made that connection in your brain. Like, I don't, like, I'm not really trying to hate on anybody or anything, you know, but that one was the one that I was just like, I don't understand how you came to that conclusion, how you assumed that we were there with you, you know, like a song that's talking about, you know, like capitalism and like corruption of the system, not corruption of the system, but like how capitalism is, you know, leading to more decay and planned obsolescence and stuff like that, which we've talked about before on another podcast with like how how things are like planned to break and planned obsolescence and designed for you to spend more money to trap you in systems and stuff like that. And that's just like fact. It's not even political. It's just
That's
a terrible system, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of good things about it, which I'm fine with. And then there's shit like that. It's like we can do much better than what
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the point of the song is like, yo, like this cycle that we're trapping ourselves in is not good, but it doesn't mean that I'm sitting here just whining about it all day. It just means that like I'm frustrated with the idea of paying $100 to have a doctor prescribe me a medicine that actually could affect me negatively in another way. Or I'm mad about the fact that I live in a society where I have to buy light bulbs over and over again because light bulbs were too efficient when they were made, and now they're literally designed to fail. I can attest for multiple things in plumbing because I worked in that industry that water heaters are designed to fail right after their warranty expires. They're designed for that. And that's all what capitalism does to things and what people who manipulate the system do. And like that's the frustrations and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of different topics put into a song, and then people are sitting here like, yeah, go Trump or like go liberals. I'm like, what are you what?
Yeah, I prefer to not be on a team and just be like, whatever common sense, you know, like let's
Yeah, like
reality here.
humanitarianism for sure. You know, at the end of the day, like if you're telling me I gotta pay like $5 extra out of my check for some universal health care, I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm sure it's not $5, but I'm cool with bettering humanity. I'm cool with paying more money to better my fellow neighbor. I'm cool with that.
Like, yeah, the healthcare system is so broken; it's terrible.
Even everybody when South Park is over here explaining it in like 4-year-old terms, and people are like, "Ah, it's fucked up." I'm like, bro, you know it's bad.
Yeah, yeah. Like when that CEO got assassinated in the street, was that
Luigi?
Yeah, and then everyone on both sides cheered. Like that tells you how fucked up it is, you know? Like,
yeah, I got a relatively liberal coworker, and she was like, "It's not right to take someone's life." I was like, "You know how many lives that man probably has on his fucking head right there? That guy, the CEO." She's like, "He's just a CEO. He probably has a family and kids." I'm like, "So did all of those people that he denied healthcare insurance to that probably didn't get their medication."
Yeah, like I'm
two-way
not
street
condone murder for it, but I understand why. Like,
yeah,
sure, yeah.
And also like it's a delicate topic, but like things don't change without action. What the action is, you know,
That's true.
It's hard to say, but things don't get done if you don't do something about it. And sometimes people do things that aren't necessarily correct.
Yeah, when they feel that there's no other option and they're that, you know, broken, you know, what do? I get it.
Yeah, the moral debates of like, you know, it's funny we were talking about that too. Is like, if you got handed a bag of money from McDonald's instead of your order, would you take the money? And I'm like, absolutely. She's like, well, that's the money that the business needs. I'm like, no, it is not. It is absolutely not the money that the business needs. That's the business's fault for fucking up, and they have insurance to cover that. And those workers will still be paid. The company's going to take a loss, not those coworkers. Steal from the company, not the workers. If somebody dropped a wallet, I'd return the wallet to them. But if a company gives me money, I'm not returning it to them. And then we're talking about like when you get rebates, like accidental rebates, like you get paid out, and talk about insurance claims. And they were like, well, I kept the money. And I'm like, okay, well, now that you're saying you wouldn't keep a bag of money because you think it's stealing, but you kept a insurance rebate, like, did you need that money? You probably didn't need that money. So it's
Yeah.
debate of morals and morality.
If
It's crazy.
an insurance company screws up or the IRS, I'm definitely not saying anything.
Like,
Especially
hell
the
no.
fucking IRS.
That's why I said, I'm like, bro, don't come at me when a company screws up or like health insurance or anything like that. Yeah, I'm taking that money.
So
They don't need it.
funny thing that happened to me, I realized like 2 of my old tax returns, I just did the automatic write-offs, and I'm a freelancer, so I can write off a ton of crap. And one, I guess I was just lazy those years or whatever, but I realized I was like, wait, I can go back and edit those still because it hasn't been long enough. So I went back and like changed what my write-offs from the automatic deduction to like the manual ones where you go and put everything in. And I'm like, okay, I'll save some money here and get a rebate or fucking whatever it's called, a return. And then so I put that in, a few weeks go by, they process it, they send me in the mail, they made me pay more money than what I owed. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is...
They said, no. There's a processing fee.
They've finagled the numbers. So after what I owed was lower, they raised the interest on what I owed for those years, because like I also owed some money still too. So they just like, they'll fuck you any which way they can. Just absolutely.
I think I owed money in 2020 and I never filed, and then I tried to file and it like wouldn't let me, and then I filed in 2021 and they owed me money because I didn't get the stimulus checks. And I had like a $2,000 tax return. I don't know what I owed them in 2020. And then I went and checked. I got my state refunds back like a couple $100. And then I was like, man, I haven't gotten my federal tax return. It's been like 3 months. I go on there and they were like nullified. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. I was like, I probably owed you $200 and you took my $2,000.
Yeah.
But in my mind, if you don't have the money in your hand, it's not yours. Like,
yeah.
like,
true.
It's like people are just like, well, I'm gonna get paid that day, and like I'm like, if you don't have that money, it ain't you. Like, that's not your money until it's in your hand, man. I don't count those chickens until they hatch. Like, because that shit happens. Because something happened. Like you're like, yeah, dude, I don't trust tax returns worth dick. Everyone tells me I get fucked every year. I don't know how, but I do. So
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, the writing off process, I'd redline it until like the thing says like you're getting into dangerous territory here. And I'm like, okay, and I pay for the audit protection, and that's always worth it to me.
Yeah, I'm terrified of taxes. I don't know. The government just seems to think I don't exist for that fucking reason.
Well, that could be good too.
It could be a blessing. It could be like I said, I got one stimulus check and then the other 2 I didn't. I didn't get the California one. I didn't get the second federal one. My tax return has disappeared 1 year. Like I don't think the government knows I exist. There's something, I don't know. Maybe they just know I don't like them and they're like, fuck that guy.
Well, they're definitely like, fuck that guy no matter what.
Yeah, they're definitely fuck that guy, which is super funny. But then, I don't know how I get screwed. I do everything that everyone tells me to on the W-2s and W-4s and shit. And then end of the year comes and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you owe us like $900.
I definitely don't know what I'm doing. I'm on TurboTax every year. Just like, sure. Yep. Answer that question.
I paid for it. I paid for it. I still got audited. I got garnished 1 year. I was like, what? That's what I'm saying. They like fined me randomly. I got garnished like 2 years ago and I didn't even know about it. My work called me and they're like, by the way, you have like a garnish on your check. I was like, why?
Wow.
And it was like I had 4 checks garnished and I was like, how much did I? And I called and like got to the bottom of it. They were like, you owed the IRS $19 in 2018 and it racked up interest to like $500. I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
The interest on taxes should be illegal. That's terrible.
It's embarrassing when you get garnished because you like it makes you sound like a fucking heathen. You're like, I swear I pay my taxes.
$19 too.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, 19 turned into 500. I was like, holy shit. It was like 4 checks. I was like, God damn it, I gotta delay my car payment. What the hell, man?
That's criminal. Fuck.
The IRS is brutal. I remember my dad finding out that they were going to get like weapon training or something like in like 2021 that they were going to give the IRS guns and like train them how to shoot.
Yeah,
he's like,
I heard about that.
What the hell? He's like, what the hell do they need guns for? He's like, what?
Yeah. I saw a lot of memes about that, about IRS showing up at your house with AR-15s. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
I-
my dad was so pissed about it. He's like, no, what the hell does the IRS need guns for? What the? He's like, if the IRS comes to my house, God forbid, that's the way I'm going down.
yeah, no shit. It's gonna be a shootout.
He's like, I will. He's like, I will gladly do a shootout with the IRS.
No shit.
He's like, what? I'm paying money. He's like, what? It was so funny because like that's one of those topics where like you want to blame like the liberals or the Republicans or something or the Democrats, somebody you want to blame them, but everyone's just mad. Everyone was mad. Everyone was like, why?
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good idea? You're gonna pay a bunch of office workers that don't answer the phone or answer emails to have like like gun classes?
You can't, like, your website is still like from the 90s and shit too. Like,
And it goes down repeatedly. It crashes.
it went down. I forget. I was trying to do something on it, and of course, like, I couldn't get through to anyone on the phone, so I'm trying to use the website, which should work anyway. And it was like,
Oh, they try to make you use a website too. It's so insane.
Yeah, and the website was down for whatever maintenance for like 2 weeks or something, and I was doing my taxes near the deadline. I'm like, so I just can't do anything because you won't answer the phone, but the website's down and it's the tax deadline. Like, what am I supposed to do here? It's your fault I'm late, you know?
I remember talking to my tattoo artist in Portland, and he was talking about like this is like 2021. He's talking about, he's like, yeah, man, I gotta like file 4 years, and he's like, I keep calling him. He's like, I'm trying to pay you. Why won't you answer the phone? Like I keep calling him. He's like, it's crazy. They call me, then they tell me to call back. He's like, I'm trying to pay you. Like
that's the whole point of your system.
He's like, do you not want the money? Because I don't want to give it to you, but I'm trying to. He was so frustrated, dude. It's so funny too, because he's like, it's just funny in my head to think about somebody that's like head to toe blasted, was like, yeah, I used to have horns on my head. And he's like, I'm trying to pay the IRS the money I owe them, but they won't answer me.
Yeah, that's
like, it's crazy.
you, the last person you expect visually to like be.
Yeah,
like, I just need to pay my taxes.
And yeah, he shows up to the building and they're like, holy shit, the Antichrist is upon us. Like,
yeah, anything the government does is like run so poorly and outdated when they should be the ones on top of, you know, having websites that work and make everything efficient.
yeah, you would think everything DoD, everything government is like, you know, the most efficient, spectacular thing to run, but it is quite the opposite.
Yeah, nobody knows what they're doing.
I mean, they fail their audit every year. So.
Yeah, that too. It's just fucking embarrassing. All right, so before we wrap up here, I always do like a fun little rapid fire round of questions. If you'll indulge me. All right, so let's start with a simple one. What's a song or album that no one would expect you to listen to?
Ooh, Coin, the canceled band, unfortunately now. Very recent thing, but not only one member, so it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, Coin, I really like that band. I'm trying to think of the name of the album. I think it's called like Graves or something like that. It's an orange album with a little gravestone on it. I cannot remember the name of it, but
I
Coin.
don't think I've heard of them. What kind of music is it?
Pop rock.
Okay.
Very like 1975 kind of stuff.
Nice. All right. Socks on or off when you sleep?
Off. Absolutely off. God damn. Socks on while you're asleep. Unless it's below 30 degrees in your house. The socks stay on. Criminal charges. Or stay off, I'm sorry. Holy shit.
All right. Oh, you said you weren't a Korn fan, but let's see what happens. Korn self-titled or Life is Peachy?
What's on self-titled? I don't even know.
Self-titled is the first one, very first one. Blind and
is that the one that they like basically sexually assaulted him to make? Hold on, I gotta look that shit up.
It's the one with like the girl on the swing set and the creepy shadow guy. It's the very first one.
I'm gonna go self-titled then.
Okay,
this is difficult because I don't know them super well.
It's a tough one for me. I think I'd have to go Peachy. It's self-titled is classic, but all right. Best place to get tacos in San Diego?
Me and AJ just talked about this. Any of the Bertos, like Filibertos, Rigobertos, Robertos, or he was against Robertos. I like Robertos though. Any of the Bertos. They're all stemmed from one family. At least that's the rumor / thing that they say here. So usually any of the Bertos, you're solid.
Nice. All right. What's a band you love but would never wear the T-shirt?
What? Probably Metallica. Fuck. Catch me wearing a Metallica.
Someone
Catch me
said
wearing a
Metallica,
shirt.
Pantera. Yeah.
Pantera, absolutely. Actually, that one's for sure. I do love Pantera, but like I can't rep that.
Mine is Blink-182.
That's fair.
Okay. Band member that's least likely to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Nico, he's got too many medical problems.
He was the one allergic to bees.
Yeah. Like, oh, like I can name him, bro. Bro's got like scoliosis or something, or sciatica. He's got sciatica.
One of the
He's got
two.
sciatica. He's got asthma. I mean, I have asthma, but he's got asthma, sciatica. He's allergic to bees. Was allergic to shellfish. We haven't really found out if that's fully confirmed free or not.
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting eaten first.
Bro walks weird. I can get run.
Scoliosis, psoriasis.
Oh
That's
man, he knows too. He's like, man, I'd survive. I'd be like, no, you wouldn't. He'd be like, yeah, you're right.
All right. Your most hated pizza topping.
This is very specific. Crumbled sausage, like sausage that you would get from a frozen pizza, no bueno. But sausage that you get from like a higher end place where it's like actually like real sausage.
I agree.
But if it's crumbled, no go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too like salty or something. I don't know. I don't like.
I don't like the texture. If it's crumbled sausage, like from a tube,
okay.
But if it's like the slices, that's good.
Texture is very important with everything.
I got a cookbook back here that says texture over taste. Joshua Wiseman. Dude, I have a cookbook in my studio. I don't know why, but I do. Should be in the kitchen. But.
All right. Your least favorite Resider song.
Ooh, this is a loaded topic. Live or like all together or just listening to?
Could be anything. Like overall.
I think it's either Trend Killer or Blue, probably. I'm trying to remember all of them. Blue I like for reasons that are not attached to the band, but Trend Killer, I hated playing it live so much, and then I settled on playing a half version of it because they wanted to play it. So
was it you just didn't like the song, or was it hard to perform, or?
It's because I auto-tuned screaming vocals, and it was just like it just felt weird live, and it felt really the verses are just so empty and boring, and it's like just me and drums and bass, and it just feels weird. I didn't really like it, but I didn't hate the breakdown. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So what I do with everyone now, I started an official Riff Tacos Spotify playlist where I have every guest contribute one song. So like any song that might have been inspirational to you, meaningful to you, or for any reason at all, any genre, whatever you'd like to contribute.
How wild is this playlist right now? Like, are people just throwing in like the craziest shit?
It's getting pretty diverse. Yeah, I chose like 20 like songs, a lot of them new metal from like shit from when I was growing up just to get it started. But it's getting pretty diverse. Yeah.
Ooh, because like there's multiple directions you can go with this. But like instinctually, I want to put Bill Murray in there if it's not already.
It's not.
But
I don't think so.
You really don't have a Bill Murray song in there. Damn.
Mm-mm.
I kind of want a deep cut Bill Murray song.
We have everything from Necrophagus to Minus the Bear to Nine Inch Nails to
Nine Inch Nails sick.
Tom Waits, Tony Danza, Dead Girls, John Cale.
All right. I'm gonna give you. Ooh, I feel like Anabolic Spudsman by Bill Murray, but specifically the Will Ramos version.
That's a hell of a name. With Will Ramos.
Yeah, read every other fucking name on the album, bro. Like it's pretty fitting.
I know them, but I've never listened to him a lot.
He's evolved. Everything was somewhat serious in the beginning, and it's just become meme culture, and he's developed his own style of meme, but the music's really, really good.
That's awesome. It's hard to create your own meme culture too.
Yeah, that's like it's very, very specific. And right now he's on so he's kind of going through phases. The last phase was like a weird country, like he was like memeing country music while also blending in like, it's like metalcore production, but like country songs, but with metalcore riffs. It's hard to explain, but now he's with his new song, he's kind of leaning into this like weird cryptic creature vibe. So he's kind of referring to himself as the Wild Hog Man, and it's all found footage of him shirtless in the woods in Ohio somewhere. I don't know.
That's fantastic.
He might live in Cleveland, actually. I don't know if he, or no, I think he's in Columbus.
I don't know how it's like slipped by me all these years, but that's normal. I'm really shitty at keeping up with stuff. So
Yeah,
as a music podcast host, I say that.
Dude, some people are just like, yeah, man, I keep up with what I need to keep up with, and then other things just kind of like fade.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then
I think it's just getting older too. Like I'm not out there searching, but when something is so good, it's gonna find you regardless. You know, through people.
Yeah, it'll eventually, you know, like it'll stack up on you. Like I said, the whole content thing is like something's got to touch base with you like 20 times before you check it out. Some psychological term or something like that of like you have to see a band name or like hear a song like 20 times before you're like, all right, I'm gonna go listen to it. But
Yeah, and now it's so hard to hit people 20 times because your content's got to be perfect for what the algorithm's looking for.
the algorithm could just hate you too. Like if it wants, it can. Like
Yeah.
I don't under. It's they say it's AI, but I don't even believe it's AI. I think it's just literally going yes, no, yes, no. Like it's like playing Tinder with videos.
Yeah, and I see all these people on TikTok. I watched one video about someone like giving tips on how to go viral, and then now it only shows me that for the last week, and it's like
Yeah.
I guarantee you 9 out of 10 people will follow all these tips and they'll still get 200 views on their reel, you know, or their TikTok. So it's like, it's also just a wild card thing. I don't understand.
I was telling our friends in Allura that he was like, I just don't understand. He's like, I see you guys post the same video over and over again, and like, okay, and like you'll start a new one, and it's a new cycle and whatever, and like it constantly does decent, and then one will blow up, and then it'll go back to doing decent. But he's like, you guys always do like triple the numbers that we're doing, and I don't understand how. And he's like, you guys have like a baseline. I'm like, you just have to post constantly and change your captions constantly, and then once you find a niche that worked, hit that niche really, really hard, and then keep hitting it, and then once you've expired that niche or you don't like it anymore, then move on or try something different if you get bored of it. Like it doesn't really matter. TikTok is like it doesn't fucking matter. You can do whatever you want. Like
I mean, I've been doing it for so long, and it's like every year I'm still trying to figure it out. But the one thing I did try on YouTube, just randomly, I go, I'm going to do insane music facts. So I Googled like crazy things that happened to musicians or whatever. And I just like wrote a little script and I would just read it to the camera and put some B-roll of that person over it. And those were getting like 10,000 views, 20,000 views on YouTube. And I was just like, huh.
Whoa.
Because like see people do that with like scary stories or like hauntings or things.
Yeah,
Like I just kind of use that format, and I did like 5 of them, and they did pretty well. Some didn't do great, but like it was cool to see like, oh, once you do hit something, if I can double down on that. But like that's also not helping my podcast or anything. It was just an experiment.
Our label Joe was just telling me, he's like, bro, I'm going like kind of viral on TikTok right now, and I was like, what did you do? And he's like, I just said I don't like Sleep Token. Oh. So apparently saying you don't like Sleep Token is a garnered way to get views, according to him.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of angry people, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was like, I guess they brought up Sleep Token on a podcast, and he just goes, boo. And apparently that got him I got him like a couple 100,000 views, and he was like, yeah, I guess that's all you got to do is say you don't like Sleep Token. He's like, do that on every podcast.
Well, I'll say it too. I don't like Sleep Token.
Are you actual or you don't really?
No, mad respect to them. They're awesome musicians, but that they just don't hit me right. Like I don't like the R&B stuff. I don't know.
I just get uppity with their songs being too long. The track 1 on this new album, it ends, and then I'm like, okay, it's 3 minutes. That was great. That was a good song. And then it starts again, and I'm like, new song.
Yeah.
Why are we still on the same? Cut this. It faded out. And it gave it 30 seconds, and it started again. The song is over. That is a new song, sir. Vessel. Well, what's your email, bro? I just start a new song. You make more money that way anyway, bro. Like,
Right. Yeah. Our band used to have that problem. Before I joined, they every song was like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and then like we started to get a little bit better at it. After we reunited, we're like, let's keep things closer to 3, under 4, please. Like, we're not trying to make radio hits, but.
Did you ever find that that's like hard to play live, like a 5-minute song? You're like, oh, we're still in that song. Like this is tiring.
I didn't, because that just meant we just had less songs in the set. I was always used to it though, but actually before that though, I came from a band that was a grind band that had 1 minute songs or less sometimes.
I love
so
that.
that was a big jump for me. But I got used to it. Yeah.
You know what's funny about the grindcore genre is we had a band play at Brick by Brick that was like a death grind, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know, but he told me he was like, he got off stage from their 25-minute set and he was like, I was like, yeah, man, good job. Like, good set. You know, I'm like packing up the cables for him and stuff like that and like doing, you know, normal audio guy stuff. And I fist bump him. He goes, yeah, dude. He's like, we got through like 13 songs in 17 minutes. That's so sick. That's a new record. I'm like, what do you, what? You made them, like, what? I was like, what do you mean you a new record? What?
That's
Because
crazy.
I guess they like purposely play them faster and like try to get through them quicker. I was like, what?
That's such a grind band thing to do.
It's like so funny. I'm like, you're telling me that like the songs. He's like, yeah, we cut out like a part of it just cause. I'm like,
All right, dude. Well, before we get out of here, is there anything else you'd like to let people know about that you guys got coming up? Shows? I know you have a is EP release show coming up, right?
we do. That almost fell through the cracks in the last 24 hours, but it's back.
Oh,
Well, it never died, but it's back. In my mind, it died. Our direct support band got a cool offer, and they took that show, and then they thought they were going to get kicked off ours from the venue, and then the venue was like, "No, you're actually good. I meant it this way," and they were like, "Oh, we're still good to go, guys." I was like, "All right, well, thank you for giving me and the promoter and my band a heart attack for like 12 hours." Like,
well, I'm glad it's still on. Fuck.
yeah, we have. If you're in San Diego and you're listening to this, we have the EP release show. Definitely, that'll be a fun time. We have so much cool shit planned. I'm assuming this is going to come out like shortly before that. So the crocodile will be back. I think we're going to get 2 of them this time. 2 crocodiles.
2 crocodiles.
2 crocodiles.
Real crocodiles?
If I could pull a real crocodile, I would. But inflatable crocodiles, we're going to bring those back.
Fuck yeah.
We have a secret song in the set, so that'll be fun. So yeah, it'll be a good show. We're doing a lot of like cool like production stuff for it, and like it's the first time we've ever treated, like, we've played last before, but we've never like done a real headliner, so we're very excited about that. EP's out on the 25th. We got 2 more songs dropping. I'm very excited. One's like a more chorusy driven rock song, and the other one's more new metal, so that's really cool. It's kind of like almost fast rap screaming type, not Franz, but like fast screaming, I should say.
Fuck yeah. I'm stoked to hear, dude. Yeah, this will come out on Monday, so that'll be 2 days from now, everybody. The EP is dropping. It's called Shade.
Shade EP, like throwing shade, not shady grass.
Throwing shade, yes.
Throwing shade. Yeah, I wrote every song about somebody, so.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, somebody could take a guess at who it's about.
Yeah, like, guess in the comments who you think it's about.
I started beef with everyone. Now figure out who it is.
And do you have a personal Instagram?
I do. It's Cyber Sounds, Cyber with an S. I don't know why. I've just had it for a while.
I'll add that in the show notes, and then follow Resider Official and your record label Overshadow_Rocks.
Joe the man, Joe Tinchy. I don't know. Say his last name actually.
Tichy. I was gonna ask that. Taiki Tichy. But shout out to Joe. Thank you for reaching out to me to get Will on here. It's been a blast.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, this is a really cool. I love the Riff Tacos idea. I think that's like really different.
Thank you. Yeah, the idea was like thinking back to when I toured and we were making like no money and being broke, and we were basically only doing it to get Taco Bell money. So it was for the passion, and we get our $5 per day to get our Taco Bell. So Riff Tacos. Yeah.
Taco Bell is the sickest on tour, honestly.
It is. It's the sickest off tour too.
I do fuck with Taco Bell quite a bit. I do have one by my work that I enjoy. Except, fun fact, if you have coupons for Taco Bell, which I got on tour because they took an hour to give us our order, the coupons, this is a PSA for everyone. The coupons that Taco Bell gives you do not work at Taco Bell KFC combos. I don't know why. Either that or that dude was an asshole.
Well, that's good to know. Shit.
Yeah.
But it's good. Also good to know that they'll give you coupons if they fuck up.
Well, we also brought like the whole tour package to Taco Bell.
That'll do
Well,
it.
It took them an hour. We didn't order together. We all ordered separately, but it still took an hour. So
It's like 25 people.
yeah, it's like close to 20. Close to 20.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much, dude. I really had a blast talking to you, and good luck with everything. I'm stoked to hear the rest of the EP when it drops.
Hell yeah, thank you. I really appreciate coming on. This is a really good time. It's the first podcast I've done by myself, so hopefully it comes out good in the editing, so not too crazy.
No, you're great, dude. You're easy to talk to, so you're chill, dude. I appreciate it. And everybody, again, go check out Resider's new single, Death Adder, that's out now. When this drops, it'll be 2 days away from the Shade EP on July 25th. And if you're in the San Diego area, go see them at their EP release show on August 2nd at Brick by Brick. And thank you to everyone for listening. Quick reminder before we get out of here, if you're enjoying the podcast and want to support me, the best way to do that is please hit the subscribe button, hit like on the episode, and if you're on Spotify or Apple, kindly hit me with a follow, and please leave a rating. That would mean a lot. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.